Hello, hi Ezra. I have taken the initiative to do this video for you. Let me analyze if you can. So I think first of all, let's start off with the growth of property market right in Singapore. So I'm going to show you how the different area perform. Okay, so let's look at this slide first. Okay, so I think if you today right, if you were to look right across the different district in area right, you actually realize that okay, all these right, west actually perform better than other area. Not that the rest are no good, but because right, why do I say that probably west outdo the rest right? Is that right? I think we need to follow the eye of the government. Okay, what is government doing right now in the west area? They are creating the second CBD. Okay, and they are also revamping a lot of things here. So generally in the west right, you also find that you have a lot of universities. You also have a lot of like institute like poly, and I think this is really where it will actually help you to build up the demand yeah, in the west area. Okay, as for the east is about 71%, central 32, north is about 52. So go to where the government is leading. I think go to where there is growth. Yeah, so I think if you look even in the different part of the west right, let me just show you. Yeah, if you look at the different part of the west right, okay, you actually realize that right, west also grow differently. Okay, let's look at the different district of the west. So let's start off with the district 5, which is what we are looking at. Science Park area, Buona Vista area. Go with a whopping gain of 91% over the past 10 years. If you look at 23, this is at Choa Chu Kang area, 64%. District 22 is more into the Jurong East, Lakeside area, 85%, not bad. Okay, District 3 is actually where Redhill is. Yeah, so I think today, of course, Redhill could be another consideration, but perhaps I feel that in the area the prices has almost reached its peak already, and this is where we talk about District 3 right, it's actually more of a mature estate. Okay, and District 21 is also another area to consider, which is more into the Upper Bukit Timah, Mount Sinai area, also about 91%. But largely right, if you look at District 21, prices in that area hit about 2006 to 2007 per square feet already. This is their pop-up of prices. But yet today right, if you can find somewhere in Science Park at maybe 2002 to 2003 or even to 2004, I'd rather go for this kind of low entry price. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so yep, that's about the growth of Singapore in different regions of Singapore. And I think also important thing is it must be near to MRT. So I'm going to give you an example of a property in Buona Vista area, which is also very near to the MRT. Okay, this is none other than your One North Eden. Okay, One North Eden. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so One North Eden right, let me just show you the location first. It's over here. So in fact right, if you look across the MRT map over here, okay, it's about, I should say, about 5 minutes walk to the MRT. Being near to the MRT serve a few purposes. Number one, it's easier to rent out. Number two, if you want to sell, the market for resale buyers is always there. Okay, and let's see how this One North Eden perform. Yeah, so let's look at the two-bedder. Yeah, so on the averagely right, in this area right, you realize that a two-bedder right, okay, something like that right, they did about 4.86%, okay, 273 in 3 years, which I think is good. Yeah, okay. Alright, so of course let's move on to the next thing. Why I think Lyndenwood is something that you can consider is also because of the size of the development. And you realize that for the size of the development do affect how the price grow in that area. So let me just show you maybe a smaller project. Okay, this is called Sea Hill. Okay, also in the West Coast area. Okay, this one is a freehold development. Okay, I use another one called Bijo. Okay, also a smaller development. Okay, about maybe 120 units. Okay, very small. But if you look at the unit type properly, right, you realize that this kind of development, right, most of it are what? They are all the one-bedders. One-bedders. So this kind of development, right, I should say that you should try to avoid altogether, because why? Imagine right, your environment of all the one-bedders means what? Likely you have a lot of investor. And the key question to ask ourselves is this: will investor pay high or will they pay low for your property? Likely they will pay low lah, because investors are all kiamku nana one. They want to buy as low as possible. So as a result of that, right, you realize that for this property, right, the prices don't really go up much. Even if you were to look at maybe at a time frame of maybe 3 years, you can see the growth is really very minimum. And worst thing, right, 40% of them, right, you find that they lose money. Okay, so what have we learned today? Okay, we have learned that usually for bigger development, I show you one more. This one is actually in the West Coast area also, bigger project. Okay, comes with full condo facilities by CDL. Okay, 716 unit. Okay, so usually for bigger development, right, they are more preferred in the resale stage. Okay, so today if you look at resale grand, right, down here is actually not even near to the MRT. Yeah, if you were to see how far you have to move right from the MRT, okay, closest is probably Clementi area. You can't reach this one you probably have to take a bus. Okay, but what I want to show you is the performance. If you were to see right, for this condo right, usually they have more of the 2, 3 and 4 bedders. Yeah, you can see right. So usually right in a development right, what will actually push up the price right are all the 2, 3 and 4 bedders, because these people right, they are the one that will really buy for own stay. So if you see here over here right, let's look at the growth in general. Okay, a 2-bedder right, you can see over here, big developments, concrete facilities, they do about 5% in 3 years. Isn't it something that we can also potentially look at? Yeah. Okay, and I think Lyndenwood, they fulfill this criteria, because Lyndenwood, they are currently have about 343 units, which is also considered right as a sizable, I should say not very big, but it's a sizable development. Okay, so I think the next thing that we also need to ask ourselves is this. Okay, how are the condos in Lyndenwood right area, how are they actually performing? So right now I need to show you right the location first. Okay, let's look at Lyndenwood. Lyndenwood. Yeah, okay, it's here, right beside the MRT station. But I'm going to analyze and show you how the condos in that area, right, how do they actually perform. So first of all, we need to look at how Normanton Park perform. Okay, we also need to look at how Clavon perform, because they are all in this AYE belt. Okay, I'm going to circle for you, Clavon. Okay, I'm going to show you also 2 more condos, how the Twin View, which is here. This one is already very far to the west already, literally very near to Tuas checkpoint, Twin View, and also Whistle Grand. Okay, so these are all in the same category like Lyndenwood like that. Okay, along the same stretch. Okay, so let's start off with Normanton Park. Let's see. Okay, so for Normanton Park, we look at the gain in 3 years. Okay, so they did about almost anything above 3, above 4 is very good already. Okay, you see about 207. Okay, about 4.5%. And today right, if you were to look right into our Clavon. Okay, by the way, you know, for Clavon right, this one is not even near to MRT. They don't really have very strong, good, reputable primary school in this area, but I'm very amazed with the result, because if you see right how the 2-bedder here perform right, quite shocking. They made almost above 5. This is very, very good. It's like striking lottery ticket. Yeah, so about 278, which I think is very, very good. So the question that you may ask yourself, how come such a location right near MRT, so far from MRT, how come they can do so well? It's because of the low entry price, which I will touch on later with you. Yeah, and if you look at Twin View, also in and along the West Coast belt, we take a look. Yeah, everybody make money. Yeah, about 3.43%, 238. Yeah. So I think very important thing is that generally what it shows one thing is that property along this Lyndenwood area, they do well. Yeah, basically. Yeah, and I think that will actually bring me to my next point, okay, which is about our entry and our exit. Yeah, very important thing. So I think I need to show you also how much are the condo in this area right roughly is at this point of time. Yeah, so if you were to look at your Lyndenwood, okay, which is here, yeah, here, Lyndenwood, right? Okay, which is here. Okay, so let's look at a few comparisons in this area. I want to show you right properties right at Alta. How much actually have people accepted in this area? What are the prices that has been accepted already? So we look at Alta, which is here. Okay, these are all the new ones okay, and today we also want to show you another one which is called Sora. This one is very, very near to my house already. This one is at Lakeside area, okay? Lakeside area. Because all these are in the west. Yeah, west. Okay, here, over here. Okay? I want you to have a ballpark at your mind. Okay, here. Okay. How are the prices here? So let's go. Okay, today your Lyndenwood is about maybe 2.324. We don't know the price yet. But today if you look at Alta, right, also in the Clementi belt, right, the two-bedder here, right, has hit almost about, okay, you can see the PSF, about almost about 2627 already. Yeah, okay, two-bedder, 26, yeah, 2627 already. People has accept this kind of price already. And let's look at Sora. This one very far away lah. This one is really Lakeside. Okay, we look at the two bedders. People has paid almost as high as about 2003, 2004, 2005 already. Yeah. Okay. This is the kind of ballpark that we are actually looking at for now. And if we were to look at one leg across, right, which is our Jaden, okay, Jurong East, near to your office. Okay, I just want to show you two bedder. Okay, two bedder, they have already hit almost up to a ballpark. You can see a range between 25 to 28 already. Yeah. So if I were to maybe compile all my data for you, right, to see, right. Okay, I'm going to draw everything for you to see. Okay, so you look at Lyndenwood. Okay, Alta is about 26 to 27. Okay, today if you look at Sora, this one very far away. It's already about almost 24 to 25. Okay, this one is in Jurong West. So if you look at places like Jaden, right, it's already almost about 26 to 27 already. Yeah. So of course today, right, for location more central, okay, for location, right, also in the same west area, right, if it's at about 22 to 24, right, the question is it safe to enter or not? So we need to ask ourselves this question. So another thing that always sometimes my client is we also need to look at the entire district of Singapore. Okay, so we need to also look at the district price. So let me share with you very quickly. Yeah, if you were to see, right, okay, the three different regions of Singapore. Okay, you look at the price very carefully. I want to show you something. Yeah, so you can see that now typically for OCR, right, okay, we are hitting almost about 2,200 per square feet on the average. Okay, for this is called the OCR. Okay, and for the RCR, right, we are hitting almost about 2,007 already. Okay, 2,007 already. Okay, and for CCR, it's on a decline. It's already about almost about 2,008 plus to about 2,009 already. So the question is, right, if an average RCR is 27, right, if we enter at 2223 or 24, is it safe to enter or not? Yeah. Okay, and I just want to show you some ballpark numbers for RCR today. Okay, so if you were to look, right, at how the RCR city fringe prices are doing currently, okay, let me just run through with you. Okay, let's go. Let's take a look. Okay, so for places like Nava Grove, this is in the Sinai area. People are already paying 27 per square feet. Okay, if you were to probably look into Toa Payoh, also in the city fringe area, people have paid almost about 3,000 per square feet already. Yeah, if you were to look in the light of this Katong area, also RCR, people already pay almost about 2,009 per square feet already. So the question is today, right, if I can get something, right, okay, RCR belt, so I can show you already, it's almost about 2008 to about 2009 already for RCR area. Averagely is about 27, RCR average. About 27. So if you can get something, right, at between about 2002 to 2004, the question is, are we safe? Okay, so just to give you a whole overall market picture first. Yeah. And I think that now today, right, what is our strategy? What is my strategy for you? My strategy for you today, right, is that of course these people who actually, right, if today, right, these people they probably buy about 26, 27 already. In future, I'm not sure how much they will sell lah. Likely they will sell at maybe 3,000 PSF or even higher back in 228, right? Okay, but for you very simple. You just only need to what? You just only need to exit at other people's entry price. You enter 2224. In future, you just need to sell at their entry price. That's what you need to do. Yeah. Okay, so far I hope that you understand what I'm sharing. And one very important thing factor that you also need to understand is that for Lyndenwood, okay, which is what we call the Silicon Valley of Singapore, okay, what is so exciting about this area? Okay, I want to show you right the demographic. Okay, the demographic. Okay, so let's look into the supply and demand. Okay, so I think the key question is, are we in an oversupply situation in this area? But if you were to do a really a count of number of units, right, in this area, right, Buona Vista area, right, okay, Rochester, the new, okay, about 14 years old, about 366. This one will be a competitor lah. These two will be a competitor for sure. Okay, Blossom by the Park also brand new. So if you were to add it, these two, right, Dover View and Heritage View, right, already quite old already, almost about 20 over years already. So I don't think this one will be a very big threat for you. Yeah, but if you were to look, right, at maybe the number of units potentially in this area, right, okay, probably you are looking at maybe about 4,000 units available. But we also need to understand our supply. We need to understand our demand. Is our demand able to meet the supply in this area or not? So so this is very important. Okay, for this area, right, we are looking at how many? 50,000. Okay, do you agree means that not everybody will rent, not everybody will buy here lah? Maybe about 10%. So if it's about 10%, maybe you have about 5,000 people. So this will be our demand. But what about supply? Only 4,000 only. So this will be a case whereby I should say prices will still continue to go up because why? The demand is actually more than the supply, right? Yeah, in this particular area. So the question is, who will buy from me? Yeah, so even like for myself, right, when I first bought my Park Clementi's, I also have this question, who will buy a 2-bed 2-bath from me? So eventually I actually sell it to someone, right, who actually have a BTO, right, in Clementi. This person, he actually sold his Clementi BTO, right, he bought about 300 plus, he eventually sold it about 700 plus. So he actually, and he's a couple with 1 kids. He owns a 3-room HDB, so he sold it and he actually bought my Park Clementi's. So I'm going to show you, right, roughly in this area, right, what is the kind of affordability of upgrader, right, in this area. So let's go. Yeah. So if you were to look over here, right, yeah. Okay, so even like in Clementi today, right, you can actually see, right, we don't look at the maximum price, we look at the minimum price. You can actually see that right now, right, a lot of them are $1 million HDBs in Clementi, Boon Tiong, Kim Tian, Dawson, and you are surrounded with a lot of this kind of $1 million HDB. And if you look into the Queenstown area, why is it that I feel very safe, right, to be in this area? It's because, right, today if you look at the number of $1 million HDBs, right, that we have, right, in fact, right, 31%, right, come from where? Clementi, Queenstown, Bukit Merah. Don't you think that this group of upgraders, right, in this area, potentially they can be your next resale buyer in Lyndenwood? Yeah, because if you look at the whole of Red Hill area now, if you look at the whole of Margaretville, Queenstown area, generally now they are already very saturated already. So what I'm seeing now, right, is this trend. Okay, let's take a look at Lyndenwood. Let me just show you something. Okay, the reason why government is releasing more land, right, into this science park area, right, is to cater for the demand from all these upgraders in Dawson, in Clementi, okay, in Red Hill. Because if you were to look over here, right, government is actually trying to do a new township, right, in this whole area, okay, in this whole area, okay, and your organic demand, right, likely is going to be from where? It's going to be from these people, okay. You see over here, these are those HDB, right, like where Darwin, they are all staying now. These are all the new HDB in this area, okay. I just show you, okay, you see over here, yeah, these are all the new HDB, and these are not cheap. When they were to sell in the resale market next time, right, potentially, right, they will probably sell at easily, right, more than $1 million also. These are all the new HDBs. So in future, right, your property is probably something that this upgrader will potentially, right, go for. Yeah. So far, I hope you understand what I'm sharing with you, and I think that you probably will. Of course, there are also pros and cons. So the cons of Lyndenwood, right, I feel is probably not everybody want to stay near to Gino. Not everybody want to stay near to Science Park area. But I feel that in fact, right, if you look at this area carefully, right, yeah, I still think that it's still more of a pro than a con lah. Yeah, because ultimately there will still be investors, there will still be doctor, nurses that probably want to rent from you also. There will still be people that probably work here. Let's just say it's like Normanton Park, right? Normanton Park, they don't even have an MRT, but yet the take-up rate is so good. Why? Because I think generally, right, it's all about the low entry price, and some people, they just want to be away from the hustle and bustle of mature estate like in Clementi, in Tiong Bahru. They just probably want to find somewhere quieter to stay. Yeah, okay, so that's all for my analysis, and I hope that you like what I share. Okay, so Ezra, just let me know how you feel. I'm always happy to actually share more with you. Yeah, so one last thing. So today, right, of course, we also need to share with you, right, why is it that I purposely select this development for you? Because today, if you look into the other options for you, I just show you other options. Okay, today if you were to see what are your other available options, right? Okay, for a 2-bed 2-bath, okay, where are my other options? Okay, not that the rest are no good, but the rest, I feel that the prices has already gone up already lah. Yeah, and I think today if you are looking for near MRT, right, this one cannot, near MRT one, right, this one cannot. Okay, we look at the prices. We try to keep it as low as possible. Okay, this one short front is at Pasir Ris, only 23 units only. Cassia is very near to Changi Prison. I don't think that you like it. Maybe Miss. Okay, but for Miss, right, the prices is already almost hitting 1.6 already. And the prices here for Miss has gone up by almost 3 to 5%. So literally when you buy, right, you're buying at the resale stage already. No point. Okay, Lake Garden, no MRT. Jens in Geylang. Bloomsbury, yes and no. Okay, but Bloomsbury is slightly further away from the MRT. It's maybe about 12 minutes to the MRT lah. Sora is far from MRT. Orchard Sophia is a boutique development. So but based on what I work for you, right, based on our budget of maybe 1.5 to 1.6, that's why I feel that, right, Lyndenwood could be another good potential for you to consider. Yeah. So what happens if you miss this? If you miss this, likely you will end up where? You'll end up in Springleaf. You'll probably end up in Canberra. Not that these areas are no good. Okay, actually, in fact, right, for myself, I do every project in Singapore. Okay, but again, which area is of course best lah? Yeah. Okay, today if you look at Springleaf, right, nothing wrong with Springleaf. It's also a brand new project. But just that I feel that for Springleaf, right, the only thing is that, okay, you don't really have anything much there lah. All you have is just the Mandai crematoria, and you have the roti prata there only. When I look at the location, I ask myself one question, who will buy Springleaf first? I cannot overcome my own fear for this project. So that's all for today.